Hitting that same frustrating wall, right? It's that classic catch-22. You can't get a job without experience, but you can't get experience without a job. Ugh. But what if I told you there's a different way? A playbook that kind of flips the whole script and actually gets you hired. Let's get into it. I mean, come on, you've seen this 100 times, haven't you? You're scrolling through job postings, all fired up, ready to work, and then bam, there it is. That one line that just slams the door in your face before you even get a chance to knock. Well, that is the exact problem we are going to solve today. So that's the big question, right? How on earth do you get someone to give you a shot when your resume is basically a blank slate? And look, the answer isn't about lying or faking it till you make it. It's about being smarter, way smarter than everyone else applying. Okay, to make this super clear, let's follow a guy who was in your exact shoes. We'll call him Alex. Alex was super determined, but he just kept hearing no. Then he stumbled upon a completely different way to go about it, a strategy that, well, it changed absolutely everything for him. All right, here's the absolute core of this whole strategy. This is the big mind shift. You've got to stop thinking about what you want, which is a job, obviously, and start thinking about what that hiring manager is terrified of. Trust me, this little change in perspective, it's your secret weapon. See, here's the thing you have to understand. For a brand new hire, a manager isn't really worried about you being the fastest, most efficient operator on day one. No, they're having nightmares about you being the guy who smashes into a rack of inventory, causes an injury, or worse, gets them a nasty visit from OSHA. That's what keeps them up at night. Their number one job is to lower their risk, period. Okay, so let's paint a picture. Imagine two applicants walk in. On paper, they're twins. Both have zero hands-on experience. But applicant B, our strategic applicant, did one small thing differently. They went and completed their OSHA theory training online. All of a sudden, they're not a complete mystery anymore. They've shown they know the safety rules, they've proven they care. They are a lower risk. Now, who do you think is getting that call back? It's a no-brainer. And think about what this does for the employer, right? You just saved that company a full day of having to pull someone off the floor to sit you in the classroom. That's 4 to 8 hours of paid time they don't have to spend on you. You're saving them time, you're saving them money, you're saving them a massive headache. That is a huge reason to pick you over the next person. All right, so you've done the work. You've made yourself a safer bet. But how do you actually show them? How do you get that across? That's where your resume comes in. We're going to turn it from just a piece of paper into a tool that actually gets you noticed. First, just a super quick clarification on how this works, because it's important. Official OSHA certification has 2 pieces. Part 1 is the theory. All the rules, the safety stuff, the book smarts. And the great news is you can do that part entirely online, all by yourself. Part 2 is the hands-on driving test, the practical evaluation, and that has to be done by an employer on their specific forklift. So our whole strategy is about knocking out step 1 before you even walk in the door. So this was Alex's resume before he learned the playbook. Look familiar? Teamwork, hard worker, punctual. I mean, these are fine, but they're what everybody puts. To a busy manager sifting through a stock of these, this resume is basically invisible. It just blends in and goes right into the trash. Okay, now for the magic words. This is the game changer. You're going to add this exact phrase to your resume. It's totally honest, it's professional, and it's incredibly powerful. It immediately tells a manager, hey, I get it. I've taken the initiative, I know the safety stuff, and I even know what the next step is. It shows you're serious. Now, look at the after. What a difference, right? That one single line takes his resume from meh to whoa, okay, from generic to strategic. And notice, we're not just throwing it under skills. No. We're creating a whole new, much more impressive section, certifications and training. Suddenly, he's not just some guy who says he's a hard worker. He's a prepared, low-risk candidate who has literally invested in himself. That's huge. Okay, so putting that line on your resume, that's gonna get you more phone calls, for sure. But this next part, this is what actually lands you the opportunity. It's a little tactic I like to call the evaluation ask, and it completely changes the dynamic of the conversation. Let's get into the psychology of this for a second, because it's kind of brilliant. When you walk in and say, "Can I have a job?" a manager's brain just floods with red flags. They're thinking commitment, HR paperwork, payroll, liability. It's a huge, heavy decision. But when you ask for an evaluation, the whole feeling changes. It sounds light. It sounds like a quick test. It's low risk. It's simple. It makes it so much easier for them to just say, yes. So this is your script. Write this down, memorize it, practice it. Whether you're walking in cold or you get a supervisor on the phone, this is what you lead with. It just radiates confidence, doesn't it? You're not begging for a job. You're confidently asking to be tested. You're basically saying, hey, don't just take my word for it. Let me show you. And that is way more powerful than any resume. Now, this strategy is awesome, but you gotta be smart about where you use it. It's most effective in places where the hiring process is a little less corporate and a little more flexible. So let's break down the 3 top places where this evaluation ask really shines. First up, small, independent warehouses. Why? Because chances are you're talking directly to the owner or the main supervisor. There's no mountain of corporate red tape to climb. These folks love initiative, and they're going to be absolutely thrilled that you've already handled the boring classroom stuff for them. You just saved them a massive headache. Okay, number 2, staffing agencies. Think about it. Their whole business is about placing people fast. When you come to them already theory trained, you are a dream candidate. You're basically faster money in their eyes. They can get you that final hands-on check and place you with a client way quicker than some random person off the street. You're literally making their job easier. And number 3, and this is a great one, night shift openings. Why night shifts? Well, the crews are usually smaller and there's less management hanging around. A night shift supervisor desperately needs people they can trust. People who will follow the safety rules without needing a babysitter. Having that theory training done is a huge green flag that you're that reliable person who's not going to do something stupid at 2 in the morning. So, what about Alex? What happened to him? Let's wrap up his story, and then I'll give you the exact action plan so you can start doing this, like, today. So Alex, he picked out a small local distribution center. He walked in, used that evaluation ask script, and you know what? They were impressed. They loved his confidence, and they gave him an evaluation right then and there. He took his time, he remembered all the safety rules he learned in his course, and he passed with flying colors. They offered him the job before he even walked out the door. And look, this isn't some fairy tale. This is exactly what happens when you're prepared and you create your own opportunity. All right, so here's your plan. It's super simple. 3 steps. Step 1, go find an OSHA-compliant theory course online and get it done. Just knock it out. Step 2, the second you're done, update your resume with that magic phrase we talked about. And step 3, start making a list. Target those small warehouses, call up some staffing agencies, look for night shift openings in your area, and start making those calls. So let's leave you with this one final thought. This whole process, this whole job search, it really just boils down to one simple question. See, every other person applying with no experience is a total roll of the dice for an employer, a gamble. But when you follow this playbook, you take the gamble away. You become the obvious, logical, and most importantly, the safest choice. Now, it's your turn.